Well, here we are at the Gay 90s. We've got a different crew here for the Gr8 Nrthrn Sexcast tonight. We've got Mr. Michael Radke.
Hey, how you doing?
Yep, and Megan Vaughn.
Hello.
And Contessa, how can we introduce you?
I am the Sexpert.
The Sexpert. Now, I'm gonna kind of let Megan start this off because you are joining us here, and our team leader Colleen Bertino is off today. But we certainly wish her well, and we wish she was here at the Gay 90s. This is too much fun. So how did we find Contessa?
I believe through the magic of social media.
Facebook.
Yep. I think it was around Pride time we started messaging back and forth, and I was like, oh, this gal is awesome. She knows her stuff. We need to get in bed somehow, so to speak.
So you, Contessa, tell us about the Sexpert and what the Sexpert is and does.
Well, it was a blog that I started a few years ago now.
You look 12. How is that possible?
Maybe I am. No, I'm not.
Kidding.
I'm a grown woman.
Okay.
No, I started it a few years ago, and it was just kind of for fun, just kind of to fill spare time. I love answering sex questions. I'm like a huge Dan Savage fan, so I was like, what can I do a la Dan? What
Okay.
would Dan do? So I just kind of started out a blog, and people started messaging me sex questions, and did my best to answer them.
Where did your sex blog start?
It's on Blogspot. I mean, it's just, but I've always I was looking for a creative outlet. I mean, and I had kind of tons of failed projects. I was like that kid, like scribbling a novel or whatever, and was working all the time, and I was just kind of feeling like the need for an outlet.
Okay.
And I had a friend who had just decided to be a burlesque dancer, and she just took some lessons and gave a knockout performance, and I was like very inspired, like, I need to do something. I need an outlet for this creativity. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to start a blog. And a lot of my friends got really excited about it. They totally helped me come up with the name and the layout. I was running things by people all the time. It's just a way to keep excited and keep inspired and have an outlet for sex advice.
How'd you choose sex? Is it just something you're interested in? That sounds like such a stupid question. We're all interested in sex, but...
Well, yeah. Obviously, sex is awesome, and I love it as a recreational pastime, of course. But it's also something I'm kind of just interested in as like an academic pursuit and as a professional pursuit. So I mean, I wrote my master's thesis paper on how to treat bisexual men, and it's just something, and it was kind of something I had to become comfortable with over time and give myself permission to do, because it was just kind of like, am I going to be taken seriously?
Right.
Because not a lot of people understand like that serious professional side or academic side of sexuality, that's especially in this country. And so it was just kind of something I was like, yep, nope, this is where I belong, this is what I need to do. And at the time, that was the only way to do it, was just kind of doing my own thing.
Okay. So if it's all right to ask, and when you say that you wrote your master's thesis on how to treat bisexual men, what was your degree in?
Psychology and counseling.
Okay, perfect. That makes perfect sense. So it was an interest. You got started. How many readers do you have?
It's actually, I mean, that's kind of the most jaw-dropping part of this. It was just kind of a goofy thing I did. I had no idea how it would be perceived. But I have readership all over the globe. It's just kind of crazy. And it's interesting to see where people are, because I can see a map of where people are clicking from in countries where people don't talk about sex.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I think Pakistan is the place where there's the most Google searches around sex, and you can imagine in places where it's really taboo to talk about such things, the internet is extremely helpful.
Pakistan. Yeah, where they have burqas and stuff. Wow, that's like amazing. Obviously, they like to take those off, right?
Once in a while, I hope.
They have to, or else there wouldn't be any more Pakistanis. How do we get more Pakistanis? We got to get busy here. Oh my God, that's funny. So Michael, you go ahead and dive in on this one because it's like you are pretty knowledgeable. Well, and so is Megan. I mean, everybody at Fantasy
Well, I can
Gifts
imagine,
team.
You guys have to be.
Well, we have to learn a lot from the stuff that we deal with daily and our customer questions alone. So we learn as we go. So I envy you, just to jump right into it and make a blog. I could do that. That sounds like a Megan thing. I'm telling you, she's great with writing and everything. I'm surprised she does not have a blog.
Yeah.
I think the market is cornered now.
Yeah, smart, right?
I don't need to worry about that.
Do you do the Fantasy Gifts Facebooks though?
I do.
Because I love the gnomes. With
yeah.
That cracks me up every time. The gnomes with the sex toys,
Oh, yeah.
featuring.
We have a lot of mascots that run through our newsfeed. The newest is a pair of unicorns.
Yep.
Very exciting.
Very cool. No, I mean, and the Gr8 Nrthrn Sexcast really kind of started from Colleen's idea of wanting to, just get this stuff out there in an adult way,
Exactly.
and because that's what you guys deal with every day, and that's kind of the whole mission of Fantasy Gifts, right? Is hey, it's like don't be ashamed of anything.
That's right. Just walk in the doors and realize it's not so bad. People are perceiving it as being such dirty and everything, and it's very boutique-y and clean. That's all I can describe Fantasy Gifts. You can go in there feeling confident that you're going to find the product you want with great customer service and great people.
For sure. And our fearless leader, Colleen, had said that one of the things she really liked about your work is that you're so straightforward about it, and you take the same attitude that she and her team do.
That's a really amazing compliment because I've been watching Colleen on commercials since I was probably too young to. But I'm like, that's pretty awesome. I mean, she's a normal adult woman, saying, "Hey, my family owns this business. Come on in." And she takes a professional attitude.
She does,
She
and
does.
it's hysterical to come to the headquarters.
Oh, I'm just talking to her about things. It's just a riot, She's got such a good realization on everybody and everything, and it's like, I don't care, whatever people do in their bedroom is their business, totally. So it's a great, it's great to have, work with somebody like with Colleen, because she's so open to everything.
She is, and it's funny. All of you guys, it's like the Hotel California. You guys get a job there and you never leave.
It's true.
So yeah. So okay. So Contessa, how many years has the Sexpert blog been out there?
Oh, geez. I haven't really been keeping track, but I want to say like 2.
Okay. Really?
That's my guess.
Okay. Yeah. So how often do you post?
Used to be a lot more frequent. I mean, that's kind of the most difficult part of this right now is the work-play balance. Because it started as a hobby, but as my professional life has picked up, I haven't had time to do as much as I would like to. It's so much fun, and yet it is a pastime. It is fun for me, and so a lot of things just have gotten away.
Yeah.
I try to keep up with the Facebook posts, but the blog posts, I try to put a lot of time and thought and energy into them, and it's been a while since my last one.
Has it?
Yeah.
Are you, with all the attention that you get worldwide for readership, do you have interest from sponsors and things?
Not a lot. I did I did a review of Baki lingerie a while back, which I know is a brand that Fantasy Gifts endorses.
Oh, yeah.
So I reviewed 2 of their outfits, I guess. One was kind of a more traditional lacy, and one was like a naughty schoolgirl costume. So I kind of wrote up, and they're an amazing company. So I kind of got to know their brand a little bit better, and they make a really great product. So that was super fun to be able to do for them.
Yeah. So I mean, okay, we got to ask this question because it's what's going on in the pop culture right now. 50 Shades of Grey.
Right.
Madonna panned it. What do you think? She did.
I wrote a post about erotica, and I kind of openly admitted that when 50 Shades of Grey came out, I kind of took a very too cool attitude about it. No, I don't need to read this book that, all of these people, I don't know, I had a rebellious streak about it. I still...
Hipster, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I read Anais Nin, the 1940s French erotica, and I read the Anne Rice beauty series. They're both a little, they're kind of dark and creepy. So I haven't picked up 50 Shades. I plan to watch the movie. I haven't yet.
I'll wait for the movie to come out.
Movie's been out, Michael. The
I
wait is
know,
over.
I know.
I know, and my friends went to it the opening day, and I wasn't there. And but I will. I'll watch it on DVD. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, what's your take from someone with the background that you have, and then the interest that you have with your blog and all of that sort of thing, on the idea that like basically Target is selling, you know, little mini bondage kits as a result of this? It's pretty amazing.
I think that's awesome. I think, you know, making sex kind of a normal, healthy part of life is really important, and it'll take us a long way culturally as far as the shame that's associated with sex and all of that. The problems that can lead to and spiral into for a lot of people, I think it'll really do a lot to ameliorate the shame and the taboo-ness of certain sexual acts, and give people kind of permission to be themselves in the bedroom. You can buy a flogger at Target, you know.
We still recommend you come to us.
Oh yeah. Well, you guys are like the you know, kind of everybody's like little on-staff assistants for this kind of stuff, don't you think?
I think so, yes.
Yeah.
I like to think that we're the go-to kind of place. You know, who's gonna feel comfortable going to Target and buying a flogger or a whip or something? I'd feel more comfortable at Fantasy Gifts because that's what everybody's there for. You know, you're there for a certain thing.
And the staff is knowledgeable.
And the staff is very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
You know, we do a lot of employee seminars, so we want to keep our employee-based knowledge up so we can continue keeping up with the, you know, the customers stuff. You know, we want to keep everybody, you know, knowing what's going on, so we're not giving misinformation to everybody.
Right. No. And I mean, and you know, one of our other colleagues, Liz, she's amazing. She runs the home party aspect of Fantasy Gifts, and she, honestly, I call her Lizopedia, because she's like a crazy walking. I mean, she went downtown bang on a sphincter explanation one day that I was like, really? You know, and this was the important. I mean, she just, with a completely straight face, explains why certain toys have to be a certain way so they don't get lost up there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah.
Rule number 1 of
And
sphincter play.
and she'll and Liz will talk about this stuff like she's telling you her broccoli casserole recipe. It's hysterical.
Which she will also do. It's really not just sex toys. Like she
Yeah.
It's the recipe.
need to know the best anal toy, the best local
She does.
brewery.
The best erotic book. She
Right,
knows
how
it.
to make cauliflower puree. She's got you covered.
You never know what you're going to get with Liz. She's awesome. She actually, and we're giving her some love right now, Liz. We wish you were here because you're always way too much fun to have in the room with us. But so, okay, let's go into some of the questions that you get, Contessa. They must have been all over the board. Give us some of your greatest hits of some of the things that you've been asked, and from where in the world they were from. Like, especially if they were surprising.
That I don't always know. But like, because they usually come via Facebook. And while I can always stalk, That's weird, right? Because I think the greatest thing about the blog and the questions is like the anonymous nature of it, and people can send it to me and they don't know me and I don't know them, and they get that frank advice that way without the side eye that you'd get from a friend or a family member.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of the strange questions. Well.
She's laughing. She's giggling.
One of my favorite, but probably strangest questions was this younger man who said, you know, I think I'm gay. Things with women haven't been working out, and I really just want to host an orgy at my parents' house because they're out of town. And it was just so many bases to cover. Like, where do I start, young man?
Right.
Yeah. Like, how old, do you have any idea how old he was?
He was like early 20s.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, first of all, you know, people are usually gay not because things don't work out with women, but because they are attracted to men.
There's some attraction there. I tried both. You know, between 16 and 18, I tried both, and I figured I'd settle with the one that made me feel the best. Well, there you go. And it was, you know, for 2 years, I decided to, you know, decide what I wanted. This is going to be the rest of my life. So I dated both guy and girl from 16 to 18, and they both knew about each other and everything. And I decided, you know, the guy definitely knows how to please me. You know what you want. Mm-hmm. You know, they know what they like. I know what I like. You know, and it seemed to, you know, be the same. So the guy won. Obviously, I'm married now to a man. So.
No, that's awesome. Megan, do you have any thoughts on that?
I lost the original train of thought. I'm just imagining, had the high school girl been better in bed, would you now be straight?
You know, it's
Oh.
a possibility. It's a possibility. You know, it's like, you know, I gave this 2 years. It was my time frame to figure out what I wanted sexually, and you know, the guy seemed to take care of me.
Okay, so back to the orgy for just a minute.
Back to the orgy.
So why? Okay, I mean, what on earth did you say to this kid?
So, you know, I said, it sounds like you're very, very gay. You want to have sex with lots of men at the same time.
It's possible, yeah.
Now, if you're going to do that, let's talk about practicality and not have it be at your parents' house and not have it be with a bunch of people that responded to a Craigslist ad. And if you have to do that, like, can we talk about condoms and can we talk about lube? And so it's just kind of rattling off, like, let me just address all of the things here in this loaded mess.
Yeah, that's kind of scary because I would be like, okay, at the front door I'd be having a bowl full of condoms, a bowl full of packets of lube and everything, just so it pronounces safe sex. You know, this is not going to be one of those dirty orgies. This is going to be safe sex. And, you know, I'd feel more comfortable going to something like that when he's offering condoms and stuff.
Right.
Kind of scares me about the Craigslist thing because you hear a lot of horror stories and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'd like to screen my I guess, menage a trois in advance. So I like to check out, like, whatever ad, you know, if they have, like, a Facebook page or something, just see that they're not, like, creepers or anything, because
Right.
I would not want that in my parents' house.
Exactly. So I said, well, what about not being the host of your first orgy? Why not search around in your
Right.
area and find out what your options
Or even
are?
rent a hotel room, you know, where it can be a little more...
Oh, I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, a hotel room right there.
Yeah.
You know, using some of one of your friends put it in their name, or you know, definitely don't put it in your parents' name because you want to keep this far away from with your parents.
That's what I was saying. Like, how are you going to explain the whatevers?
Well, my brother-in-law would call that pecker tracks.
Exactly.
Is that funny or what? He goes, my sister and her husband, they've been married for like 40 years, and they are like still the biggest horn dogs that I've had. And I love that about them. They've got a great marriage. But I asked him, they went away for their anniversary. Stupid idiot. I instantly regretted asking this question. I said, oh, how was your hotel stay? What'd you do? And John just looks at me and goes, we left pecker tracks all over that room.
Oh, no.
Oh, and I always just feel so bad for the maids. No one thinks about the maids in that situation.
Do you guys remember the Rick Capcella reports where he'd go into the hotel rooms with the black light? Oh, my God. That has just completely and totally... I'm so freaked about hotels after that.
That really freaks me out, too. I'm like, really want to bring my own black light next time I stay in a hotel. It's like, really, what are they missing?
No, I'll just bring, like, rubber sheets, I think. I don't want to see
I don't want to see
anything.
it either.
I don't want to know about it. I don't want to see it. Oh, that's what. So, okay, that was one. Well, give us some more, because I mean, you've got to have stories that even, you know, yeah.
You got 2 years worth of stories there, girl. Let us in.
Let's see. I don't know. I guess another one, some stuff like isn't in my repertoire to answer. Like, I recently got a message about like scrotum hair removal, and I was like, hey, that's a question for an esthetician.
You know, and I've actually talked to some of my employees, and my employees are really, really open with me, and they'll tell me actually exactly how they shave their scrotum. And this is women. She'll sit above a mirror, and she'll shave it outwards on both sides, and I'm like, this is stuff I just learned.
Women don't have scrotums.
Or, I'm sorry.
I know that was a little bit of an issue. Yeah, I'm
sorry. I'm
Thank you, Megan.
Thank you, Megan. I'm like, her anus. I'm thinking scrotum. I'm thinking anus. Okay. So,
No wonder it didn't work out in high school.
Wow, that was a shot.
that's really good, though. Exactly. I could not figure out the female anatomy. And now I look at some of your posts, and you have the cartoon anatomy of a woman. I'm like, that's what I did wrong. I did not get it back then, but now I have illustration at all my stores of where the female anatomy and what to go for and everything, but now it's too late.
Yeah, well, we're here to help.
Well, you helped me. So.
Well, no, and I'm sorry, but one of the funniest, I mean, Megan finds the best content for the Gr8 Nrthrn Sexcast page, but one of the funniest ones that I read that one time was the how to clean your vagina one. And it likens it to a self-cleaning oven. I about fell over, but I'm like, holy crap, that's good stuff.
Yeah, it is. And I got it from the Sexpert, actually. Yeah.
Well, I loved that post. It was like, don't steam it, don't... All of that, like, bourgeois stuff that celebrities say they do to their cha-chas. You know, you don't need to do
Just leave it alone.
It's pretty. Yeah, it's great.
So with regard to, do you ever get? I mean, can you ever tell Contessa when you get a question? Do you get like? Can you tell like the age range, like any older married couples or any? I mean, what kind of questions do you get from married people?
I had a guy recently talk about how he was getting older. He couldn't maintain an erection as easily. And there were certain things that his wife had a real reluctance to participate in. And so it was just kind of like, how do I have this conversation with her? So it's kind of talking about, I just kind of advise him with options. You know, it sounds like she's got her stuff to deal with, but you've got your stuff to deal with. Like, how do you as a married couple come to a compromise, and what kind of help do you need to come to it, you know?
Yeah, no, that's a really, I mean, that's a good one. I mean, do you kind of feel, I mean, when you're doing this, because, you know, there's, I think, a huge gaping hole in the world for, I know, that sounds just really bad. I mean,
gaping hole.
I know. I mean, what I mean, there's just not a lot of availability of really good, frank information from somebody who actually cares. I mean, that person really kind of bared his soul to you a little bit there.
A little bit, yeah, you know. But again, that's what makes like the anonymous part of it so easy.
Yeah.
You know, he never
Yeah.
has to look me in the eye. And there's probably some fear or some hesitation to talk to a person, like a professional in person about it. There's the cost and everything. And so, which, you know, in the end was kind of what I advised him to do. You know, are you guys willing to go down another route? You know, because a lot of people try therapy and they don't have a good experience, and then they write off all therapists. Well, you wouldn't do that with a physician or a doctor. you know, everybody kind of has that story of a physician or a physical appointment that didn't go well, and you go back and you find somebody else because there's another better person who's got a personality to fit you. So that's kind of what I advised. You know, they said that they'd gone the therapy route before for her the stuff she was dealing with, but that there wasn't really a lot of results. And it was like, well, maybe you want to take a different approach or find somebody with a different expertise, and you know, don't give up.
No, that's a really good point. Here's what I want to do, guys. We're having some audio issues here, and I want to make sure that I get all the voices heard because we've got quite the group. We've got Michael, we've got Megan, and special guest here, Contessa the Sexpert here at the Gay 90s. In fact, if you're not hearing the throbbing music in the background, that's where we are. Yeah, but I want to do some technical adjustments, so this will be part one of our episode, and we will be back with the Sexpert in just a few.